Okay, give me a second here. That's better. So, I'm going to start shooting videos again. Something I keep telling myself every time I do one of these things. But this time I'm going to do something nice, simple, easy. So I'm just going through my knife collection, just something I won't have to edit. Just do, throw up, call it a day. Yep. Then I'll also have a nice record of it as well. But I figured do something nice and easy to start out with as well. Just do a very simple pocket dump, what am I EDCing? So let's go through that, with the exception, of course, of my cell phone, which I'm using to film right now. And, well, that's just not going to work in 3 dimensions. Lovely dead air there. But yeah, wallet. Lovely little thing. I'm not going to show you the inside of it, as really it's the same as any other bloke's wallet. Key ring. A bunch of keys on it. But more importantly, I'm going to get off some of these things that are more important to the EDC. Just this little guy and this little guy, which I really should have filled up before doing this video. This guy right here is just a little wee peanut lighter, which of course has no fuel in it at the moment, because apparently I can't plan anything ever. Ah dear, that's going to be a thing to deal with. In a minute. Yeah, that was unexpected. So I'll be fixing that up right after I finish here. I don't keep this in my pocket, for obvious reasons. But the other thing is a little nitalized little pen. This thing saved my behind on numerous occasions, either just as just a little pen, right, or as a lovely full-size pen. Getting on to some other things. Little tiny Write in the Rain book. Little Milwaukee just permanent pen. I don't know if these are actually any better than Sharpies, but they were cheaper, so hey. Little metal pen that I've had for quite a while. And I think this is a Zebra, I can't even remember the code, 3 or something. Got rid of the pocket clip, lost one of the springs for it. It's a bit sticky. And jerry-rigged it so that it has a Fisher Space pen refill inside instead. That way I've got the pressurized ink refill, as opposed to just their standard Parker style. And let's see. Geez, going through this makes me realize how many things I have that I need to look at, sort through, and actually make sure work. Because this, I don't know if it's dead. I'm meaning to get something better as a flashlight, honestly. This is little cheap, like less than $5. Little triple A, and recently it just has not been working, so I'm gonna have to go through that. I've been keeping my eye out, but everything I've seen that I've liked is either far too expensive or far too large. There we go. Little Swiss Army knife, proper Victorinox whistle. Both very important things to have. Not my main knife, but it's really nice. I've always found it really nice to have a super sharp, super thin blade if you're doing something like carving or whatever. I've always enjoyed having a I do a lot of carpentry, so I've always enjoyed having a little tiny saw. And I could get scissors out without looking, I would have, but little snips. And something that saved my bacon so many times on so many camps is this little can opener. Just, I don't even pack a can opener anymore because I know I'll have this. But I would say most used function on this knife is the tweezers. I don't know how many splinters, pieces of wood just jabbing straight out of my hands, I've pulled out with those. Moving on to what's on my belt. Got this little, well, I think that's technically a key keeper. A few things on it. Got a little 6-foot measuring tape, which again I use all of the time. Little S-spinner. Again, it's quite a lot of use just sitting on my belt, and I can just clip things to it, water bottles, all sorts. And a little tiny coin pouch. Just a little thing, waxed canvas. Just a fun little project I made myself one day. See, my money in it. Moving around my belt is my multi-tool. Carry a nice Leatherman. Nice Leatherman Crunch. Which, there we go. Has many tools. Well, not many tools, but several tools on it. Of which I only really ever use the pliers, of course. But the big advantage of the Crunch I've always liked are the locking pliers. Got yourself your nice little set of vice grips there, which I've always found to be incredibly useful. More so than needle nose, in fact. Got my belt, which, based on how people who know how thin I am, realizes that this means that my pants are in danger of falling down at the moment. But thankfully, there's nobody else around. All these little pauses you're noticing, not going to be edited out, just in case you're curious. Not for a long while, at least. Now onto my main knife. This is rake. Says the model right on there, I think. The 801. And I don't know, I just needed, you need a pocket knife. Let's see. I just wanted something, basically I just wanted something with fidget factor. Nice, smooth running on bearings and all that jazz. It's a tiny bit larger than how I'd like, if I'm being honest. It's also not the only knife that gets a considerable amount of pocket knife. I cycle between this one, this Kershaw Creek, I think. I can't remember. Coral Creek, I believe. A nice sheepfoot backlot, nice traditional. I don't know, just for some reason, some days it's just like you want to carry something traditional. Something a bit more non-threatening. I don't know, they just have a really nice feel to them at some points. And a Ganzo Firebird, which I own. G10, decent steel, I believe. Can't remember what it is though. 440C, so nothing, amazing. The axis lock, of course, just worked for me before, and then there we go. There we go. I don't know. The reason this one doesn't get more pocket time, even though it is a nicer size, is I'm not particularly a fan of the blade shape that this particular model has. I don't know, I ordered it off some, shall we say, less than, well, one of those Chinese sites like Wish. I forget the name, the one I ordered it off of. And as it turned out, they used a picture of a different knife. Or perhaps they just sent me, a different knife other than what was showing. So that was slightly disappointed, but still, all in all, a nice knife. I might pick up another Ganzo Firebird at some point. Maybe something with a bit better blade shape. And finally, the last one I cycle through is actually this little guy here, set up for sitting on my belt, right on the front there, so I can always pull it out. And this one, 1084, and as you can see, it's completely handmade. It's a bit rough, as you can see, a bit roughly done, but it's incredibly comfortable. Like, really is, just fits right in there. And, well, I made it myself, so you can still see the file marks on it that I could not, be bothered to file out to make a knife for myself. It was one of the very first knives I made as well. And that's why it's always going to hold, a special place in my heart. Notably, this is the second sheath I made for it. As first one I made was the first Kydex sheath I made, and it came in far too aggressively And just over the years, it just lost retention. So there we go. I said look forward to more of my voice and possibly my mug after I get a haircut, though, as nobody really wants to see that at this point. I had a look in the mirror today and not good. But again, I said look forward to that, but nobody's going to watch these. So, see you later. I guess I'll catch up to you, my future self.